Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to our Coach Pony Live. Welcome to the Coach Pony podcast. We like to think of ourselves as your virtual business hug. And you're here with Christie. I'm the founder of Coach Pony, and Bobbi. I'm the serious one. Bobbi has the good hair. She's less serious. She found a date like a grown-up, if you're curious. And we are so excited to be here with you today live on this podcast and get to be with each other and with our community. So yay. The point of this particular podcast and going live is so we can actually answer questions. So if you have a question, the topic today is about sales, but we're happy to talk about anything. Please go ahead and put it in the chat. You are more than welcome, and we'll check the chat periodically and see what we get from the community, if anything, but we are absolutely here to support you. So we're excited to dive in. So Bobbi, I wanted to talk about sales today because it's something I think a lot of coaches struggle with, but it's also a really great time to be selling coaching because a lot of people come back from the holidays and they are ready to make a change and they've thought about it and they're like, this is the year. They've got that new year energy. So I thought we could start with a couple of questions we got offline about sales. How does that sound?
So let's do it. It's not my favorite subject, which is probably true of people watching and listening to this.
So for me, yes, absolutely. So let me dive in then with question one. So question one is, I hate sales. How do I authentically be myself doing something I hate? I just want to coach. Is it even possible to be myself in a sales consult? So Bobbi, what is your hot take? Is it possible to be yourself?
My hot take is absolutely yes.
Yeah.
Hands down. And we'll explain more about that.
And my hot take is yes, as well. It is possible to be yourself in a sales consult or on a sales page anytime you're selling. Absolutely. So let's unpack this a little bit because I know this is something a lot of coaches struggle with. So Bobbi, tell me more about why you said yes about it's possible to be yourself and what tips and advice you have for coaches.
Well, I took early on, and we're talking, 15, 16 years ago, but early on I took all the, different sales classes and read books and did everything about, really detailed sales process and strategy. And I never felt comfortable with it. And the question about can you be authentic and do sales, that's the key, okay? The key is being authentic and being yourself, and that's how you sell. I think people buy from people they like, and people buy from people they trust. And for me, I decided to sort of leverage that, for lack of a better word. Leverage sounds sort of manipulative, but shall I give him my tip, my big tip that seems to work for me that I think is so great?
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us, what is your big tip?
Yes. Here's my big tip. Everybody's like, what I ended up doing, and this was completely natural, holistic, it just happened. When somebody gave me an objection, I would say something to the effect of, look, I'm a terrible salesperson, but I'm a really good coach, and I'm the coach who can get you from A to B, and with some details from where you are today to where you want to be. And so basically I'm saying I'm not a salesperson. And because it's true, because I really didn't like sales, I didn't enjoy it, I didn't feel like it was my best skill, I was really authentic. And I just said, look, I suck at sales. And I got to tell you that I think that increased their trust in me and my likability in a way, because it was very real. And I converted most people. I had a very high conversion rate.
So you're authentically being yourself.
I felt good about myself.
Yeah. You were just acknowledging what was happening, which is you didn't feel like you were a great salesman and you didn't enjoy the process, and you were sharing that with your clients. And by doing so, you actually ended up building a lot of trust with them because you were being yourself. And so sometimes it's okay to name the elephant in the room. If that suits your style as a coach, and if you truly believe it, it worked for you because that was who you were. Yeah. So coaches listening, if you hate sales, it's okay to own that in the room with your clients and be like, "Hey, I'm not a salesperson. But I am a coach and a great coach, and I'd love to chat with you about that." Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. And for me, one of the things that really helped me, because I also, like you, Bobbi, really disliked sales in the beginning. I found it felt really uncomfortable for me because I think me, like many of you listening, have probably been in bad sales conversations where you are in a situation and a salesperson is pretty aggressive with you, pushing you to talk to them about something you don't want or you're not interested in, and it feels uncomfortable and awkward. And for me, I didn't want other people to feel that about me and my coaching. That was not something I was excited about. Um, so one of the things that shifted for me about being in a sales conversation was I thought of it as a conversation with my coaching hat on. And so I tried to make a mental shift. It's really hard. And it was hard for me in the beginning because obviously you want paying clients, and most of us need paying clients at some point in our
Mhm.
business if we want to continue. Like at some point, you make that switch where you do need that income. But I tried to let go of the outcome and just focus on the conversation and helping my clients reach a really good decision for them. So that was like my real focus was, is this a good decision for you? Is coaching with me the right decision for you? How can we help you make a yes, no decision? Because I knew that if they just sat there and thought about it and didn't make a decision, they were unlikely to pursue other options. And so they were unlikely to make any progress on their goal. So if I could just keep my coaching hat on and just be present in the conversation and let go of the outcome of like if they were going to coach with me or not, but just focus on the outcome of a decision, that felt changed the energy of the conversation quite a bit. And it felt like I was being of service to them. And I think that much like I never did that. I'm a terrible at sales, but I honestly wish I knew about that at the time because that's like a wonderful thing to do if it really works for your style. But I think it worked in the same way. It built trust because they could tell it wasn't
Yep.
about like, hey, here's why you should coach with me. Like the only answer is coaching with me. I was like, okay, well, let's talk about like, is this right for you? Let's talk about our partnership, what that would look like. Let's talk about what might be coming up for you. And yeah, let's explore that. Maybe coaching with me isn't the right thing, but let's dig in. Yeah.
And I think the bottom line to that, and that helped me a lot with the process of sales in my business, is we are helping people. If you look at it as you're selling, you're selling, you're selling, you're selling, that's reframe it to what Christie's talking about. You're serving. I mean, you really are. If you're talking to someone that you think you can help, then try to shift from, oh, I've got to sell this person because I could help them. It's I could help them, so I really want to encourage them to work with me. Right?
Hmm.
It just to me it feels better. And that's exactly what I think you were saying, Christy.
Yeah. Yeah. So ultimately, everyone, you can sell as yourself. You just have to figure out your personal style. And if you can, our two tips are, name the elephant in the room if that works for you, and or let go of the outcome and focus just on the conversation and being fully present. And that will build trust as well. And both of these things, I think, will help you sell more coaching to the right people who are the right fit for you, because not everyone is, and that's okay. There's some people out there who are just not a fit for coaching. And there are some people out there who are not a fit for coaching with you, right? Personality is just not a good chemistry fit. And so, it's okay to say no to some people or to let them go and find the right coach for them. Yeah. And I mean,
Mhm.
that's hard. It's easy for me to say that. It's hard to do. But what were you going to say, Bobbi?
I, I was raising my hand too about some people aren't good at being coached, like me. Um, Also, you've probably had the same situation. Well, I know you have, where sometimes you kind of push it to sell somebody, and down the line, whether it's like your first session or your fifth, you think to yourself, "Oh, this person isn't right. This person
Mm,
either isn't coachable, isn't good. We don't have that kind of like connection, whatever." And you realize, oh man, I kind of pushed them, I kind of sold them, and now I regret it.
yeah.
And so if you're in a sales conversation or a service conversation, you could look at it as a and you're thinking and you're feeling yourself push, really think about, are you doing it because the money, which is important, it's important. And if that's the case, that's okay, but go a little further and just think, are they, is this a good client for me?
Yeah. Something
Because
I
down the
talk
road,
about.
you might regret it.
True. Something I talk about with my Build a Real business students is if you get a bad private client who's really not a fit for you, it will not only be a bad experience for you when you deal with that client, it usually seeps into all of your coaching. You start to dread meeting with them, so you don't look forward to the whole day, things like that. And it can really tank your energy and impact your ability to coach. So it's like, better to let that one client go because it can have such a negative impact on your business. I know, again, it's easy for us to say this. We understand you need to make money as a coach. But we're saying this with the hope that this will actually help you make more money in the long run. Yeah, for sure. So I also want to let everyone know who's listening, if you want to hear a real sales call and hear Bobbi model what she said, we do have a podcast where she does a real sales call. So we'll put it in the show notes. We'll put it below the video. But if you Google Coach Pony Real Sales Call podcast, you'll probably find it that way as well. But we'll link to it so you can listen in and hear some of what we're saying in action and really understand what it's like in real life when you're talking to a client. And for anyone who needs sales help like immediately right now and wants more, we have an awesome free class this week all about how to sell coaching. I'm going to be leading it. We have 3 different offerings. So it's this week, it's tomorrow and Thursday. You can choose the time that best works for you. And you can go to coachpony.com to find the registration. It's free. Or you can, we'll link it. We'll link it here too, down below and in the show notes. So if you're listening, you can find it. But we only do this one once a year, and it's going to be really, really good. So with that, I have another question I want to get to. Are you ready, Bobbi? Okay.
Ready.
This is a good one.
Hard.
It is hard, but it's good. What do I do when someone says, "Can I have some time to think about it? I keep freezing and it's super awkward."
I know that freezing thing.
I have been there too. Yes.
Yeah. Well, of course. Can I think about it? Do you want to go first or you want me to?
Go ahead. Dive in.
Okay. I think the answer to this is the same, is maintaining your authenticity. So for me, there's things that you're going to learn, that you probably have learned or you're going to learn about, things like, well, what if you find yourself this, in 5 years, the same place you're at now? And there's really a lot of ways to handle objections. For me, I want to talk about I want to know what's holding them back, right? So it could be just as simple as saying, well, what are your thoughts? Just a big, wide open question of finding out what's going on. Is it money? Is it time? And sometimes, by the way, you're going to find out from this that they're not the best client, right? I mean, that they're not, or the timing's not right. A lot of times it's not money, it's time. And if it's time, they're not going to make a good client because they're not going to do your work. But that's what I do, Christy. I just say, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? In other words, what's holding you back?
Yeah.
And then I can coach them through working with that, and as a team, trying to figure out still if it's the right thing for them.
Yeah. So I like to offer everyone, just to peel back the onion, when you make a buying decision for something expensive like coaching or which is a luxury in all honesty, or any luxury item, our gremlins want to kind of slow us down a little bit because it's a big change and it's an investment. And so often we just hit pause and almost unconsciously be like, well, I don't know, or that's too expensive, or I don't have the time, or whatever it is. And it's just almost a knee-jerk reaction. But for people who are truly not interested in coaching, they're just going to be like, well, this isn't for me, thanks. I think sometimes when people say, oh, I don't have the time, or I don't know, that's actually a buying signal. They are interested. Their gremlins are just slowing them down a little bit. But it's up to us as coaches to put on our coaching hats and ask some questions, as Bobbi demonstrated, and dig in a little bit. Do they really, what is holding them back? And is it legitimate? In some cases, absolutely. In other cases, it might be fear or misunderstanding or something else. And so we would do our clients a disservice if we don't at least explore and make sure They're making an informed decision about coaching and not a knee-jerk reactive one. So these objections and these questions that sometimes make us feel uncomfortable are actually ultimately a good sign because the person's still engaging with this and there's something there that we need to explore. So I love the question you said, Bobbi, what's holding you back? That's a really good one. And then just sort of digging in. And I know that, it's a good one. It's an open-ended question, right? It's just part of the conversation that we're having. So that's like a great thing that any coach can take and use and put in their toolbox. Do you have any other questions that you love?
I have a response after you ask the question. This is like what I coach my clients when they're dating and they ask a man a question. It's the same thing. Ask the question and zip it.
Okay, that's what this was about.
That's
I
what
was not
this is.
understanding.
Yeah.
Bobbi, if you're
Yeah,
listening, Bobbi was making a weird mouth motion, which I did not get.
Weird mouth motion. Ask the question and again, it's the same thing when we're dating, right? When like we ask a guy like, so, what do you do for fun on weekends? Whatever. You gotta give them a moment to gather their thoughts, and you have to really listen to the answer, because if you're in your head thinking about how to keep getting them to buy from you or what your next question is going to be, then first of all, you're affecting the communication between the two of you that you've probably already built. And if you're not listening, you can't really respond in a really authentic and skilled way, both, to whatever's holding them back or whatever their issue is. So ask the question, zip it.
Yeah, like really keep your coaching hat on.
Listen.
Yeah. Open-ended questions, active listening, validating, reframing, really being present with your clients. These are all the coaching skills we all have, and they are so helpful in this part of a sales consult and conversation. Because so many of us, when I hired my first private coach, she said it was great. I knew I wanted to work with her. I was pretty on board. She said her price. It was $3,500 for 10 sessions. And I said, oh, I don't know. That's too expensive. I didn't even think about it, you guys. Those words just like came out of my mouth. And I absolutely could afford it, to be clear. I made enough money, I'm fortunate in that way that I had a decent salary. Like I didn't have any debt. I could afford to invest in myself in this way, but I had never made an investment like that before. And so it felt really big. And so my gremlins came up and it just poured out of me. And she also asked me a great question that any coach, I recommend this in your toolbox as well. She said, if you don't do this, what are you going to do instead? Like, that's totally fine. No worries. But if you don't do this, what are you going to do instead? And it hit me like a ton of bricks because I did not have a plan B. I had already been like looking at a bunch of different things, and I decided like I really needed her help. And I knew I didn't have any other alternatives that were going to fit me as well. And I hated her for asking that question in the moment, just briefly, because it was like, damn, you're really making me like confront my reality. And it was easier to be in denial. But, she was a good coach in that moment because she forced me to like really step back and think about it differently. And I did end up coaching with her, but regardless, that question made me, again, examine sort of my reality and what I'd been telling myself. And it made me think, like, do I really want to do this? Yes. Like I have this goal. I really want to achieve it. And I know I can't get there on my own. So if I don't get this kind of help, what am I going to do? I have no other plan. Okay. I really need to probably do this. So just these are two questions. What's holding you back? And if you don't do this, what are you going to do instead? Are two great ones to have in your toolbox. And by the way, you guys, we're going to talk about objections in the free class. So if you want more information on this, I've got some more help for you. So grab your seat. Again, we'll link to it in the show notes and down below in this video. So I hope to see everyone there. But any other thoughts on objections, Bobbi, that you wanna throw out there?
Yeah. Ultimately, there's going to be people who aren't going to make a decision on the call. There's going to be people who hold fast to, and you could tell from the beginning, you could tell they will not commit, right? They've told themselves, and I've done this before. I've walked into a store or I've gotten on with somebody that, could be a service, and I've promised myself I wouldn't buy, right, Christie?
Yes. Sort of I'm just looking. I'm
self-preservation.
definitely not going to buy this. Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes you're going to get someone like that. And ultimately, that's okay. I especially like when somebody says, "You know what? I want to talk to some other coaches." So early on, that would give me this, "Oh no." But I learned that first of all, I really am a good coach. I've probably built rapport with this person. There's not a woman, well, yeah, 99% of the women I talk to, there's instant rapport. They know me well enough even when they get on the call. So I know if they're going to go to other coaches, that's a good thing because they're probably going to learn something positive about why I should be their coach. And if not, that's okay. It wasn't meant to be. But every once in a while, you're going to get something like that. So I just wanted to say sometimes that'll happen. At that point, I will send somebody my contract with a proposal that gives details about how my coaching works, because I don't really go over the details of the how during the coaching call or the sales call. And I give them 48 hours to make a choice. And I'd say 50% of the time they choose me. They choose me as their coach, which is, okay. It's okay. Sometimes that works. And that means they're the right people for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So people do need to think about it, and that is okay. But it's important that we don't let them think indefinitely, right? Because
Right.
again, the
Yeah,
default,
it's not like, let me know.
yeah, the default for humanity, for all of us as humans, is just to wait, to procrastinate, to not make a decision, because that feels easier than making a decision, even though not making a decision is making a decision, right? So we always, with our coaching clients, we want to act like their coach and again, get them to some decision so that they can move forward, whether it's with you, with someone else, or in another, or maybe it's not really a priority for them and they didn't understand that. So at least they do now,
Mhm.
right? So it's our job as coaches to coach in these situations in a very light way so that people really make informed decisions and they keep moving forward, right? It is being of service. Yeah.
Get off your butt. Do something.
Yeah. So really fast, I want to
You
get
always you always say it so eloquently. Sorry, I stepped on you. You always say things so eloquently, and then I summarize by saying, "Get off your ass." I, I'm
put
so
it in Bobbi
impressed with
terms.
my. I'm so impressed with my professionalism. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, actually, as a side tip, like half of business is getting off your ass. Like if you want to be successful as a coach, like you have to be willing to take action and be uncomfortable and
Yeah.
expand your capabilities and put yourself in places where you're not always going to feel comfortable or practiced or polished, and that's okay. But if you're not willing to do that, you're probably not, like it's going to make your road that much harder. So I think
Yeah.
it's apt
Don't
advice,
I know?
Bobbi. It's apt advice. Okay, before I want to get into, we like to wrap up a little bit with a little bit of business tip, like a helpful business tip and some life advice. But before we get there, just really fast, everyone, just a reminder, a week from Friday. So coming up in just over a week, the price of Build a Real Business, our flagship Coach Pony program, is going to permanently increase. Right now, if you join us between now and midnight on Friday, the 30th of January, you will get program lifetime access for free. And you'll get to join at the current price, which will go away forever on at midnight Eastern time on January 30th. So if you need step-by-step business help, if you want an amazing community, if you want to work with me and Coach Pony more closely and get feedback on your work and come to our calls and get the training and the worksheets and the checklists and all of the other coaches who are trying to do what you want to do and succeeding and just be with a community that's making it happen, please consider joining us. You can go to coachpony.com/BARB. That's Build a Real Business. Coachpony.com/Barb, and we'll link to that as well. If you need this help, check it out while you can lock in program lifetime access, which includes our support, as well as the core training. And while you can get into at this price before time runs out. So you have just over a week. Take a moment, check it out. Don't be in denial if you need this help. Just, give yourself permission to at least look at it. And with that, Bobbi, let's do some business and life advice. So, Bobbi, do you have a business tip that everyone can kind of like walk out the door with and really make happen for themselves?
I do. I look back at my early years and I feel like I wasted a lot of money. I spent a lot of money, and it was on hiring people to do marketing, to do a little technology. I mean, all different things. My advice is not to hire anyone to do anything unless you know something about that thing. In other words, you should know enough to be able to reasonably make an informed decision about whether that person can deliver what they're promising. So if you're hiring somebody to do marketing, I'm not saying you have to be a marketing expert first, but hopefully you've been through Barb, in which case you don't need to hire anyone, right? But before you hire somebody, let's say, to do your marketing, understand basic concepts of marketing. So when you're interviewing, you really understand whether they're skilled, and whether they can deliver what you need, because that's going to be a big investment for you. So before you invest, know enough to make a really good choice. It's so easy to feel like, oh my God, this person talks such great talk and they're going to help me. And right, especially when you're paralyzed or you just have no idea what the next step is, somebody coming in to save you feels so good. And when they don't, and you've spent a lot of money on them, it feels really bad. It feels really bad. So that's my tip. Get yourself educated enough to hire the right person.
Yeah, I like that. And most coaches, don't worry about it from the beginning. You can support yourself as a coach without anyone else for quite a while if you want to. So don't put a lot of pressure on yourself to immediately have to hire people, especially not today with so many tools available to help you. And now I have a life tip that's totally off topic, but we have to talk about. If anyone read my latest Couch School from Sunday, it's our free weekly training over email. You can sign up on Coach Pony if you're curious. I talked about heated rivalry. Oh my gosh, you guys. I was talking about it as from a business case, because it's successful because it's a really good story. It's a good romance. The actors have good chemistry. It's really nice escapism in this moment when things feel really uncomfortable in the world. But also the two leads are just so charming and having so much fun with it that I think they're like helping to supercharge the publicity of the show. But if you haven't seen Heated Rivalry, if you're interested in romance, it's, romance between two professional male hockey players. So just know that. It's a bit steamy, but what makes it successful is the love story is so good. The love story is so good. Bobbi, have you seen it yet? I've been like harassing you about it you still haven't seen it? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, please drop everything and go. But seriously, you need to see it. It's so good.
I know. Christie, you always have really good tips. You always do. And I do love my TV. There's times I love my TV. So it's on my list. It's like I could show you on my list.
Okay. Well, move it up there. Move it up there.
I think I just finished binging Pluribus. So
and do you recommend Pluribus for the people?
I know this is your life tip, but my life tip is Pluribus. Oh my God. But just know it ends with a cliffhanger, which I did not know. Oh, I did not know.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Heated Rivalry does not end with a cliffhanger.
Okay. Okay. It's on my list. In fact, maybe tonight with a little tequila and Heated Rivalry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, guys, if you need a distraction from, all of this that's happening, like Pluribus and Heated Rivalry are two nice ways to distract. Just throwing that out there. Okay. So Bobbi, before we wrap up, I just want to recap for a second. So remember, you absolutely can sell yourself authentically. And we talked about different things you can think about to help you. One is just owning the elephant in the room and naming it, that sales are uncomfortable for you. You can be upfront about that with your prospective clients. And another is to remember that sales is a conversation and you're not trying to force your coaching on anyone. You're just trying to help them reach a good decision for them. And objections are buying signals. And so don't be afraid of them. Just put your coaching hat on and ask open-ended questions like, what's holding you back? And that will really help you have a good conversation with someone to determine if partnering with you is the right thing for them. And it'll take some of the stress away, I think, when you think about selling. So Bobbi, how can people find you? Because you're awesome. If anyone needs date coaching help, please hire Bobbi immediately. She's totally worth it. So Bobbi, where can people find you?
Just go to datelikeagrownup.com. And if you want to get to know me better, just go ahead and read some of my 150 blog posts. There's nothing fancy there. Just go ahead and use my contact sheet, get in touch with me, and we'll talk.
Yeah. You guys do it. She's got such great material out there. Grownup.com. Grownup.com. I misspoke. So you can find her there, and we'll link it below in the show notes. And for us, you can find us over at coachpony.com. We have tons of free resources for you over there, including a free training about marketing. But this week, for the only time this year, I'm doing 3 different live classes on how to sell coaching, and we're going to get really structured and tactical. So if this is help that you need, go ahead and sign yourself up. It's a free class. You're more than welcome over on Coach Pony. So hopefully I'll see everyone over there because the class is really, really fun. And our next live will be in the second half of February because I'll be traveling the first half. So I am looking forward to connecting back here with everyone. So bring your thoughts and questions. We'll put a countdown up about a week before. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel on YouTube if you want to be notified. If you want to come and ask us a question live, you absolutely can. So you'll just, if you subscribe to it, you'll get the notification and you won't miss it. So yeah, Bobbi, any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I love your program, Barb, by the way. I haven't had a chance to say it's the best thing a new coach can do. Seriously, I'm not a good salesperson, but I'm really honest. But anyway, it's always fun doing this with you, Christie.
Yeah, it's always fun doing this with you too, Bobbi. And I look forward to next month when we do it again. And for everyone watching, thanks for being with us. And I hope you got a little bit of help with your sales conversations. So we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.